Good morning all, and welcome back to RaiderIO's Race to World First Daily Recap with me, Rookery. I'll be taking you through all of the best kill news, worst almost kill clips, and cutest puppies of the Race to World First through Nerub-ar Palace. Let's get started, shall we? The Oceanic Guilds, Cope, Crimson, Copium, and honestly, all continued to work on Broodtwister Overnax, and we may see some of these guilds moving up to join the fray at Ky'veza today. Broodtwister did fall to a number of guilds, though. After a promising 3% wipe, Z-Box claimed World 6th and CN 2nd, with Endmyth following shortly behind for World 7th and CN 3rd. Zhijiang Hong earned their CN 4th and World 8th, while Fat Shark Yes dropped the Slug World 9th. We now have 4 Chinese guilds in the top 8, and the party is really on in Ky'veza's room. Oh, speaking of, we have a real treat for you this morning. We've gotten our hands on some real-time live footage from the race to Ky'veza. Let's take a look.
Yeah, shouldn't we, learn by dodging balls that are thrown at us, or...?
That's what this sack of wrenches is for. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
What?
Unsurprisingly, given the incredibly demanding DPS check on Ky'veza, we saw both of our EU frontrunners pause their progression to head back into splits, about midway through their raid days, which of course made all the casters cry, and maybe made the raiders themselves just a little goofy.
No, oh whoa.
Oh! Can someone check on Preach, by the way? We're thinking the splits made him extra loopy. Oh! Despite their goofy moments, Method had an incredible day of Ky'veza, making swift work of their previous best with a sharp improvement down to 19.4%, all while still utilizing their 2-tank strat. After their splits, Method did opt to bring 1 tank, bringing in a Brewmaster Monk and replacing their 2nd tank with a Demon Hunter. Their new best after swapping strats was 14.7% within the Enrage window, followed by a 7.6% wipe. The Method team ended their day with a new best poll of 5.45%.
5 big blaze coming here soon. Here it is. Pump, pig, pump, pump, pump.
Pogo Hero have been incredibly impressive thus far, holding their own as strong contenders, especially as this race is likely to go into next week. After only 117 polls, they had already gotten the boss down to 24.4%, before taking a break and swapping to the single tank strat with a Guardian Druid. As expected, Echo also changed up their own Ky'veza plans in order to 1-tank the fight. They seemed to struggle with consistency early on in the raid day, but following splits and some comfort pulls with the single tank strat, they found a new best in 17.7% before breaking through the 10% wall and managing a new best of 8.7% and then 3.9%. For far too long yesterday, we had a true race to world first showdown between Echo and Liquid as their best polls sat within a fraction of a percent of each other. That is, until Liquid managed an incredible new best poll of 0.6% and followed that very quickly with an absolutely heartbreaking 0.7% wipe, thanks to a terribly timed game crash. Hey, Trill? It may be time to think about clearing out some of those old weak auras.
Trill has a pile of ancient Sepulchre-era weak auras. I don't think there's any remote method we have of dealing with that. Here we go.
After acquiring their food buff and surpassing the 300 pull count on Ky'veza, Liquid did it! Achieving the world first kill!
Immune? You're immuning in 3, 2, 1, immune now.
Nexus-Princess Ky'veza demanded near-perfect gameplay, but Liquid found their groove at last and killed her on pull 304. While Echo called it a night before Liquid's kill and Method headed to bed slightly afterwards, we fully expect today to be a knockout, drag-out battle for World Second Ky'veza.
I do think
This
this
is
might
it.
be the one.
100%. They're getting an absolutely crazy amount of damage out as the boss is
It's
trying to
so
take them
much
out with the
damage.
Eclipse, but it's not enough as Echo and managed to catch up to Liquid as the boss goes down. Pull number 256.
We saw a bit of Silken Court today before Liquid went dark for the evening, and we have to say, this fight is looking intense. There are about 100 mechanics happening at all times, and we're wondering if perhaps the players weren't exaggerating when they said that this might be one of the hardest fights ever, like ever to be made. Well, while we don't know that much yet, we do know that Liquid will be attempting to gear up several other characters for the fight ahead. Check back tomorrow for all the deets on their Silken Court strategy, because we know that they're cooking up something great. Thank you all for joining me today for RaiderIO's Race to World First Daily Recap. I've been your host, Rook, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow for all of the ongoing Nexus-Princess Ky'veza war and all the nitty-gritty details on the Silken Court strategies. See you then.